champ Sport Clips haircuts. It's a game changer.
Excuse me. I love sports. But sometimes, like when a t-shirt cannon hits me square in the nachos, I wonder, is Sport Clips better than sports?
Because sports plus a hot steamed towel
beats sports plus hot exploding cheese.
I like your shirt.
Thanks. It was free.
Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
Elevate Next is where New Orleans athletes level up. We offer skills training, leagues, and camps designed to build confidence, sharpen fundamentals, and help your child stand out on the court. Our professional coaches focus on real development, discipline, technique, and the mindset to thrive. If your athlete is ready for the next level, this is the place.
Visit elevatenext.com or call 504-229-2591.
Grind Elite Threads. Greatness is earned, never given. Outfit your team today with football, basketball, baseball, softball uniforms. Plus school basketball apparel such as hoodie, practice jerseys, custom bags. Join the community where passion meets performance. Visit grindfp.com or call Justin at 337-660-9300 to order now.
Looking to take your party to the next level? Big Easy Inflatables has you covered. Serving the greater New Orleans area, we're proud to be your local 5-star rated provider for bounce houses, water slides, and party rentals. From birthdays to big events, we bring the fun right to your backyard. Booking is simple. Just visit BigEasyInflatable.com or call or text at 504-270-1793. Call us today. Make your next celebration unforgettable with Big Easy Inflatables, where the party starts.
Check it out, basketball fans. With 19 sport clips across the state, there's one right near you. Look sharp, Louisiana, and get the MVP experience. Precision cut, shampoo, even throw on that hot steam towel. Step in today, leaving feeling like a champ. Sport Clips haircuts. It's a game changer.
Red 93! Red 93! Sports are awesome. They're hot! But there are times, like when the QB pressure turns into hundreds of pounds of pressure on my spleen, that I wonder, is Sport Clips better than sports?
Because sports plus a neck and shoulder treatment beats sports plus dog piles.
Oh, that feels good on my spleen.
That's not where your spleen is.
It is now. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
New Orleans parents, Coach Sky's back in the gym. We're having a welcome back Coach Sky special. That's 4 group classes for only $50. Those classes will focus on skill development, focus on discipline, and also enhancing confidence. But this special won't last long, 10 days. 10 days is all you got. 4 classes for $50. If you're interested, please call us, text us, email us, or go to our website. We look forward to seeing you in the gym real soon.
Bayou Sports, your home for everything Louisiana athletics. From big-time matchups to small-town rivalries, we cover the stories that matter to our communities. Scores, highlights, interviews, and behind-the-scene moments, all right here on Facebook. Stay connected, stay local, and support the athletes putting in the work. Bayou Sports, all local, all the time. Looking to bring some fun to your next party or event? Big Easy Inflatables has you covered. Bounce houses, water slides, and obstacle courses for every age. Safe, clean, and delivered right to your door. Servicing the greater New Orleans area with all your bounce house and water slide needs. Call or text 504-270-1793 or visit BigEasyInflatables.com to lock in your party today. Cajun Graphics. Turn your ideas into eye-catching designs with Cajun Graphics. From custom t-shirts, team gear to business signs and vehicle wraps. We do it all Louisiana style. Fast, clean, and built to last. Cajun Graphics, where local pride meets bold design. We talk about it all the time, guys. If you've ever been to one of our events, you've seen the signage. Any of the signage that you see at our events is from Cajun Graphics. So if you're looking for something like that, some vehicle wraps, T-shirt designs, whatever you name it, they're going to claim it, man. Reach out to Jason over at Cajun Graphics, 225-333-8830.
What if your pet ever went missing? 1 in 3 pets go missing in their lifetime. Smart Tag 1. Tap or scan for instant ID. Real-time alerts. Instant location. Peace of mind. Powered by Smart Tag 1. Smart Tag 1. No app, no battery. Just tap. Scan, tap, locate.
All right. Let's see what's going on. Louisiana girls basketball fans, man. Appreciate everybody for joining us, man. We got 2 coaches joining the conversation with us today, guys. You guys can also join that conversation by commenting below. I want to give a huge shout out before we do get started into these brackets and these playoffs, man. Coach Golat, man, Coach Tracy, Fine Note, man. You guys getting it done on the court, man, and we really appreciate as you're getting ready for, whether it's watching and scouting a team tomorrow or playing a game yourself, man. We really appreciate you guys sacrificing some time tonight just to get the conversation started like we always talk about, man. Coach Kendrick, man, what's going on, man? You said you're locked in the hotel, man. Y'all got a road game tomorrow, man. What's going on over there?
Yeah, man, just got back from team dinner and, getting locked in, watching some more film and hopped on here with you, man, and make it happen.
Love it, man. Coach Tracy, man, appreciate you for joining us. You guys got a bye, to start the playoffs off, but we always talk about it all the time. The small school basketball and bring the insights. These lives have really done a good job, man. But to get you on here and to share some of your knowledge about the small schools and schools in your area, man, we really appreciate you. What's going on over there in the small school world and that side of the state?
Well, like you said, it's fixing to get started up. The schools in this area are very, very good. We have a really good group of high school basketball teams in this area. So it's not just the small schools right now and so forth. I'm excited for the big schools. They got some really good teams, really good games coming up.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. Coach Kendrick, did you say you want – just lost it. I think you wanted to start with his. Coach Fido, you want to jump into the small schools right away? What we want to do here? Let's see. Again, guys, we're talking all things girls high school basketball here. Let me see if we can get the bracket going. Coach Kendrick, what division you want to start with? What was it? Let's see.
Y'all go ahead and start with my division, Division 4 non-select.
Division 4 non-select. Who's at the top of that bracket? I'm trying to look at it right now. Let me see. Make sure I can see.
Midland's at the top of it.
Let me see.
Yeah, I got it.
The only problem, all these brackets look exactly the same.
Yeah, they do. There's a bunch now.
We're talking playoffs.
Let's get it. All right, let me go back to get us back on the screen as well. Have some technical difficulties, but we're going to get this thing back right. All right, man, so I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Y'all let us know if it's difficult to see that. We'll just go to the regular playoff, but want to be able to see our faces as well. Again, guys, you guys can comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Coach Fano, you want to start it off? Coach Golat's going to sit this one out. We're going to start off with his division here. Division 4, non-select. Again, shout out to Coach Golat, man, on the road right here. Taking Lakeview on the road. They'll take on East Feliciana tomorrow. Some teams that I've seen that I do like, definitely like Midland. Midland, I think, really challenged themselves this year on the hunt for a state championship. Coach in that program has done a great job of continuing to build, but I think you see them taking it to another level where their strength of schedule is one of the toughest strength of schedules they've had probably in the last 5 years. just trying to really prepare themselves. Got that one next to their name, which is definitely a huge shout out to them. The team that I do like here is Midland coming out of the top side. Katie at the bottom. Coach Golay, you want to sit that one out as well, man? I know that's in your area, but they're doing a great job as well. I love Maryville also. I think the bottom half of that bracket is loaded. Maryville just is a deep team, young team, got a big time, flow with them, right? They really get out in transition, one of the best transition teams. They rebound the ball extremely well. They've got some upperclassmen, but they really rely on the young kids and Avery and that company. But Coach Tracy, you want to talk a little bit about kind of the teams in your area in this division?
Well, I've watched Midland play multiple occasions. I agree with you. They seem to be the team. They have all the pieces. They've been there. We played Maryville. Maryville is very talented, very young. They have the size to be able to compete, with some of the better teams. Guard plays is young, but the Canoyer kid can really play. Don't know much about Arcadia. Don't know much about West St. John, but the one team that stands out to me that could be a sleeper in this group would be Lake Arthur. I've watched them play a couple of times. They're in that same district, so they're battle tested with Midland and LCA, and they lost to Midland by 13, I think, and 12, and they lost to LCA by 9 and 12. So I think that's a sleeper, in this bracket.
Yep, absolutely. Got some people talking about Logansport. Hey, if you look at Logansport's draw, I do think that they've got a good draw. No discredit to West St. John. West St. John's strength of schedule. I think he does a fantastic job of scheduling, and they just do a really good job of scheduling. They're always ending up with a home game or multiple home games. And he's turned that program out to where they just flat out find a way to win games. And in the PowerPoint system, the way it is now today, the most important thing is to win basketball games, and West St. John does that. But with that being said, I do think West St. John is a little bit too high. If that's going to be a team that could be upset, you're looking into a double-digit team that could get into past the quarterfinals or make it to the quarterfinals. Like Tiffany's talking here, Logansport's probably one of them. They've got a pretty darn good draw. Coach Golak agrees with us. I guess that's the only thing he's going to say about this part of the bracket.
Yeah.
But,
well, I was just sitting with her, Coach Childers, at our district meeting today, and I was telling her the same thing. Her draw is absolutely lovely. If she take care of business one game at a time, having West St. John possibly sitting there in the quarterfinals, probably benefits her a lot. The way the style of play that Logansport plays.
Yep. I mean, again, it's no discredit to West St. John. They win games, man. They win basketball games, and that's what he's done in the playoffs. They've upset people before, but now here they are sitting with a bye. So shout out to them. A tough draw, a team that I would probably want to keep an eye out on, a team that does always find a way to win games and get deep runs, White Castle, man. White Castle at that 8 seed is not somebody that if I'm Midland that I want to see in the quarters. Unfortunately, you're going to have to play them, Franklin 1 and 2. But White Castle's always going to have some guards. They're always make deep runs. We've seen them multiple times at Hammond. Again, when you're talking about the 8, the 9, we talked about Logansport 13, a double-digit seeded team. White Castle is a team that's high up in that ranking as far as seeding that I could see making a run. Okay, guys, anybody else in the comments, man? We really appreciate comments just like Coach Tiffany was talking about right there. Shouting out her team. And, we want to get the conversation started, especially with the lower classification teams. That's what it's all about. As we continue to go throughout these playoffs and we continue to break these down, the more and more we'll get some feedback from all you guys. Arcadia is a team definitely to watch out. Everyone I talk to up north has got high hopes for Arcadia. They think that they're the favorite to win. Having everybody back, DA's just playing extremely well. I do think that Arcadia could be the favorite. If you just put all these teams in the hat, take all the numbers out, the seedings away, I could see an argument for that as well. So if I'm Midland, I'm Maryville, Lake Arthur, all those guys like that, Arcadia is definitely a team to watch out for. Anybody else got any more comments on this? All right, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's jump to Coach Fontenot with the BC. Let's get that party started, man. It's always one of the fun sides of things. Coach Fontenot, you want to kind of get us going right here? I think this is Class C here. It's super hard. Can everybody see it pretty good? So that's Simpson. Your defending state champs. Bring everybody back from last year. Odds-on favorite to win it again. Coach, do you see anybody, or if you do see somebody in this Class C, what's some teams that you can see that can compete with the Simpson and knock off the defending state champs?
You know, I don't know much about Calvin. I've seen Pleasant Hill play. They have some athletes. Evans is really moved up in the rankings. They do a really good job. Matter of fact, I think that's in Simpson's district, so they've played a little bit. You know, I still think Simpson's the team to beat. When you get everybody back from a team that, you know, in all actuality last year kind of wanted going away, you know. I thought there was some other teams that could have challenged them this year. Reeves is one. You know, they ended up having, you know, transferred out, and, you know, another kid, got injured. I thought maybe they could have pushed him a little bit. I think Ebarb is another one of the better teams, you know, in that class. But I still think Simpson's the cream of the crop. You got to be able to beat them. That's the team to beat.
Absolutely. And like Coach was saying, man, with Evans and Simpson did play. They played on February 6th, where Simpson defeated them 67-45. And that's something that we're going to talk about a little bit more in detail in the Division I non-select. Man, there's 3 or 4 district rivalry, district first-round matchups, which is probably one of my most exciting ones to kind of keep an eye on. It kind of reminds me of, I'm sure you remember whenever we had the old school where we had to do by district, and then so you played somebody in your district before you got on in there, and then we went back to where we had the seedings. That is how they still do it in Mississippi. So that top part of that bracket is pretty interesting. Again, guys, if y'all can comment below, man. A great comment right here. Lady Rebels are hungry. And I definitely agree with that. I think we saw that from the summer all the way through. Like we talked about with Midland already. We talked about them a little bit. Midland really challenged themselves with their bracket and with their schedule. And I think they really are going to be excited to see that one next to their name. They've got the best route. They've got the best route. And like we talked about here, a lot of people up north really rolling deep with Arcadia. What's your guys' comments? Who is somebody, comment below, that can upset Simpson or give Simpson a run for their money? You got some people talking about Calvin. Reeves losing Lauren is definitely a hurt. They're not the same team. If they did have Lauren, I could see them competing, but it's not the same team that made it to the top 28 last year. No discredit to them. I just know that at the 8 seed, having to go on the road and win at Simpson, that's going to be extremely tough. Phoenix, team down here in New Orleans, always finds a way to get in that top 10 ranking. They're somebody that's kind of sneaky, not as talented as they have been in the past. They do have some guards that can go. They just don't have the size as they have had in the past. But if everybody's healthy, Phoenix is a team to kind of keep an eye on. And they're like a sleeper because they're all the way here in New Orleans, way down the bayou. Not very many teams in this classification get a chance to see them play. Anybody else got any comments? Calvin is going to be the team I guess we're going to kind of keep an eye on. Who else has Calvin played? I'm trying to see. See, Calvin, I just don't. Is Calvin going to be ready for that strength of schedule? Simpson and Midland are probably the 2 teams, in my opinion, that really stepped it up with their schedule. But Calvin, again, whenever it comes back to, like we talked about, the most important thing in the PowerPoint rankings is to win games. and Calvin has not lost a basketball game until December 16th was the last time Calvin lost a basketball game. Coach Fano, what's your thoughts on having these buys? I don't know if you and I talked about it, but I don't like the fact that you have so many teams that don't have a home game, in these divisions. I don't think that's talked about enough with Class C and B. You got, all these teams are going to have these buys. Like St. Joseph is a 12 seed. They don't get a home game. You go all the way down. 11 seed Family Christian does not get a home game. 7 seed. No, 7 does get a 10 seed doesn't get a home game. Like, what's your thoughts on that? And the guys in the comments, what's y'all's thoughts?
That's tough because you've earned that right to be one of the top seeds in the bracket and never get to play at home. I understand the reasoning for lowering the number of teams. You don't want to water it down. Is what basically the whole point about it. But when you get to the lower classifications, it's I don't know much more about the bigger schools. Y'all know that, but I mean, I've seen 22, 25 seeded teams win the first round. I just think that those teams that are going to end up like what you're saying, the 10, 11s, and 12s deserve a home game. And by getting a bye, you may look at it as being a good thing, but the community deserves to have a home game.
Exactly.
That right.
And I do think that is something that we need to go back and look at. Like for example, I think it's is it the 10 seed? Yeah, the 10 seed, 10, 11, 12, and I think 13. Or 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, and 12. Those 3 guys do not get a home game. Like where 13 does get a home game. So 10, 11, 12 really get hosed at the end of the day. And I think it's you don't want to let everyone in. I'm not a fan of the everyone gets a trophy. I can't stand that crap. But I think to have a 10 or 11 or 12 seed and not have a home game, like you said, for the community, for the kids, for the girls, for the pep rally, for everything that goes involved, especially in Class B and C, I think that's something that we need to reevaluate. And this is a good comment here about go ahead.
No, honestly, I mean, even a 9 seed, you're going to go on the road and play an 8 seed.
Yep.
And if you win, you may get a 1 seed. So even a 9 seed doesn't get a home game.
You're right. So 9, 10, 11, 12. 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 guys that should have a home game will not have a home game. 13 gets a home game, but 9, 10, 11, 12 don't get a home game. That's an issue, in my opinion. And I don't like letting everybody in. But it's more important to give the student athlete experience is the most important thing whenever we're looking at all this. And student athlete experience of you earned a home playoff game. You should have a home playoff game. 9, 10, 11, and 12 all get hosed. You would almost rather be a 13 have a home game than try to go on the road and upset. Like Marpol probably has not had a home playoff game in who knows how long. Now they're going to have a home playoff game. How exciting is that going to be? It's going to be amazing. No, we have not done 1A. We're doing BC now, and we did Coach Golat. I think he was having some issues with the hotel Wi-Fi. He's actually on the road. Again, guys, comment below. Let us know. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. Some great feedback right here. Lauren did leave and go to Sam Houston for Reeves, and having Jules out, man. Our prayers go out to her with the ACL tear. That's definitely going to be tough. 9, 10, 13 should all have a home game, span 24 teams at least. I agree. I think that's something that we need to really look about. And I talked about that last year. I think we need to talk about it a little bit. We need to find a way to fix classifications. I agree with the limited teams and everything, but this is one example where even though we do have so many teams, like this is an example where the playoff bracket has a hole in it, in my opinion. Go ahead, Coach. You were saying something?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and you look at that Class C bracket. If everything plays out like it should, that Ebarb Pleasant Hill game really kind of intrigues me. Ebarb had a big win against Anacoco, who's a really good Class B school. Pleasant Hill is a really, really good team. Watched them play in the Lacassine tournament. That's a matchup that I would really like to go watch. There's a couple of those games, but that one really, watching those two teams play, that's a really good game to go watch.
And that's what it's talking about, guys. That's what we're talking about as we continue to go through this. And we've got games tomorrow. Quarterfinal games are 8 days from now. So that is a game that we will continue to talk about. We'll talk about a little bit more as the playoffs get a little bit closer. But again, guys, comment below, man. You guys have any feedback? A lot of people, big time fans of Calvin, they think Calvin can compete with the Simpsons. And we're talking about Pleasant Hill and Ebar. Man, there's nothing better than quarterfinal basketball games, especially Class B and C. Even if you do get knocked out, make sure you're still tuned in, man. Find a game that's close to you. You can definitely fall in love with this sport with that. But with that being said, we're going to jump into Class B. Coach, you guys at Bell City got the top seed this year. Do you want to talk a little bit about this class? You want to sit this one out? Leave a little bit to the comments. I know it's a little bit different than with Coach Golat. You got so much knowledge of BNC, and we really appreciate all the people that tune in that really love basketball at that small town. So if you want to put any feedback, man, we really appreciate it.
Well, I'm gonna kind of give you a couple of takes that I have with it. I still feel from top to bottom, when you get to small school and especially Class B, it's one of the most competitive brackets that you're going to get. Being the top seed is, it's a good thing, I guess. You guaranteed, as long as you're one of the top four, I'm happy because that means all our games are at home. Kind of like when you were talking about, getting the home games. But, when you go back and look at the draws, there are so many, and those teams that are in the bracket, there are so many teams that have defeated teams ranked much higher than them. The road still goes through Fairview, even though they're ranked third. That district that they had was, it's a gauntlet. Hicks and Anacoco and Fairview and Pitkin, and even Elizabeth, those teams are going to all be battle tested. Anacoco defeated Fairview, I think, in the last game of the season. They played, Pitkin twice. That was really, really close. You go back and you look at Negrita, Zawala, and Florine, another very, very competitive district where teams beat up on each other. Us, Hathaway, and Lacassine. Holden's really good. There's just a lot of equipment. There's a lot of really good Class B teams. So, get some popcorn and sit down because it's gonna be a battle in that bracket. I can tell you.
No doubt about it, man. That's another thing that's so fun. Like, you guys have been getting after it, early November, and now here we are, about to turn the calendar to March and crown a state champion. But these guys have been growing up, seeing each other play, little dribblers and all that. It seems like it's always kind of the same names, not only schools but families as well. That's one of the fun things about the Class B and Class C, and to kind of see this one unroll. I think, again, this, like you said, with this classification, you see a lot with the Division I as well. See a lot of the matchups with the district matchups, which iron sharpens iron. And I think a big reason why, like you said, that this class is so freaking good, top to bottom, 1 through 9, really, it's because of Fairview. Fairview, everyone's been trying to catch them. Everybody's been trying to keep up with Fairview, and they've raised that bar and raised that bar and raised that bar and raised that bar so many times that now they've had everyone else around them has came up to that level. And it's a shout out to the Class B and Class C schools. And it's gonna be fun.
Talking about that, you go back and you look at Hicks. As good as they are, as where they're ranked at, they don't belong there. They're a much better team than that. Oak Hill, one year removed from, yes, they lost a lot, but they're ranked much higher than they should be. It's and they, both of those teams have steadily improved. You can go all the way down, and that's why I said it. If we went to 24 teams instead of 20 teams, or 28 teams or whatever, those teams would get home games and so forth, but it would still be some competitive games.
Yep, I agree. And again, that when you look at this bracket, you got 9, 10, 11, and 12, 4 teams, and a Cocoa will not have a home game this year. Deserves a home game. Like, whenever you really break it down and look at it, man, that's tough. And a Cocoa, no home game. Lacassine, no home game. Florine, no home game. Like, these guys deserve home games, man. Like, I don't see an issue with extending the bracket for the student athlete. We're doing it for the student athlete experience. Student athlete experience is the most important thing whenever you're doing this playoff bracket all the way through. And having a home game at Class B and a Cocoa being a 9 seed, not having a home game this year, no matter what they do, they could win the next 1, 2, 3, 4 games. They're not going to have a home game, and they're a 9 seed. Like that, I just don't think that's right. I think we've got to figure that out. Got to figure that out. Guys, we really appreciate the comments. We're going to jump back to Division 1 non-select, and then we'll run it through there. We have already done Coach Golatz, and we lost him. But if he jumps back in, we'll get it back on. Comment anything you guys got, any feedback you guys may have. Got the defending state champs, Zachary there, the number 1 seed. Yeah, I like this bracket, man. We had Coach Bobby on earlier from Walker. 16 seed. If they win, if they find a way to beat HL Bourgeois, which I do have them upset HL Bourgeois just with the experience that Walker has, being in the playoffs and such like that. So HL Bourgeois is on upset alert, in my opinion. HL Bourgeois is probably the better team, but I'm going with experience there. Just when it gets down, the playoffs kind of goes to another level. Walker's made deep runs for years now. But then, you just start seeing familiar opponents. You got Walker would play with Zachary, familiar opponent. First round, Nathan Central versus Airline. That's a district game. Destrehan versus Hineville, district game. Sulphur versus Barb, district game. You got 4 district game rematches in the first round. Ruston versus Washington Pairs, district game. It's just a lot of fun matchups here. And then you look at the bottom half of the bracket, one of the most important things to keep an eye on, in my opinion, Slidell has had the monkey on their back. They cannot find a way to avoid Dillon Springs. It doesn't matter who wins, loses, draw. You play 100 games, you're going to find for the last 3 years, Slidell and Dillon Springs have matched up in the playoffs, and it looks to be that's going to be the same thing here. Dillon Springs is a 7 seed on the bottom side. Slidell's a 2 seed. They get the bye. They're head-on collision for the quarterfinals, where that game's been going back and forth. Will Slidell find a way to get them, payback or the revenge tour, whatever it is that we want to call it. Guys in the comments, let us know. Coach, any kind of games you're kind of looking at in this Division 1 non-select? This is just a really fun matchup, man. A lot of fun matchups with the district matchups and some rematches from years past.
No, you're right. Sulphur and Barb, I'm familiar with both of those. Watch them play. Sam Houston has really come around and picked up. I don't know much about Houghton, but I'd like to, watch that game. That should be a good one. But the Sulphur Barb, I know they're district opponents. They get up for those. It's going to be a battle. 5-28 doesn't matter. You can throw those records out the window. It's going to be a battle with those two. Tammy does such a good job at Zachary, no matter year in and year out. So I still feel that they're going to be that team that's going to be there, and like what you said when you went down. I've got a chance to watch Slidell play. Didn't know much about them, but I was very much impressed after watching them play. I've never seen, them play until this year. NFHS, when we're not playing, I get on that and I just find a game and watch people play. I just like basketball that much. And I was really impressed with Slidell. So I'm curious to see, Denham Springs. I haven't seen yet play this year, but I did not realize that's a history battle, basically, like what you were talking about.
It's gonna be fun, man, and it's just so crazy to see all the district matchups. Like again, like for those that don't know, in Mississippi, you play your district, and whoever wins your district goes on. It's kind of like that. Like Natchez Central and Airline played last game of the year, and now they got to turn around and play again.
Wow.
And that was an 11-point game, and it was at Natchez Central. So Airline travels on the road again to play Natchez Central. It was an 11-point game. That was 9 versus 24. Again, like Coach said, you can throw those seeds out the window. You can throw the 9 versus 24 out the window, the 5 versus 28. These are games that are like Natchez Central and Airline, they're gonna literally play back to back. If I'm the higher seed, like the better team, that's not somebody I want to see. I don't want to play a team that I literally just beat by 11 at my place in the first round of the playoffs. I'm supposed to have a quote unquote easier game. I'm supposed to have a much easier task. I'm supposed to be favored by 15, maybe 20 points. Now you tell me I got to beat the same exact team that I just beat by 10. I think that's going to be a challenge. I think that's something to keep an eye on. Airlines, nothing to lose. Like all these teams that are going back in, Ruston, Washita actually beat Ruston early in the season. That's another one. We'll go down to the bottom half of the bracket, but that's another one where Ruston is a higher seed. Washita beat Ruston earlier. So now you're the higher seed. Washita's got to go on the road. It's easy to say, hey, we've already beat them. Like, we can beat them again type thing. And then Ruston, you're trying to find a way to beat somebody that's already beat you, but you had the home game. So it's just it's one of those very weird times where 4 and 5 teams that are very familiar with each other playing each other in the first round. And then on top of that, we also had the matchups that we've all kind of been looking for. We've been looking for the Slidell versus Denham. Comment here was talking about Houghton would have been a favorite if there was no transfer as she transferred off to Texas. I agree with that. But they also had the experience of bringing back the team from top 28 last year, brought back a lot of other players. I don't know if their point guard's back or not. The Sam Houston and Houghton in that first round is definitely a fun one. But the winner gets Neville, man. And I think Neville is a team. I've seen them play live. I've heard a lot about them. It's going to be very hard to win at Neville. Neville's fans are going to come out and support. This is their run. This is their year. They're going to travel to Hammond when they make it, in my opinion. And I just love the way that they play, man. Neville is my sleeper in this division. We know about Zachary. I've been one of Prairieville's biggest fans. Slidell's been arguably one of the best teams in the state, regardless of classification. I think Neville at that 4 seed is a team that people may be sleeping on. And I think Neville is a team, their style of play, they play 9-10 girls, very, very upper class heavy. I think they have 8 juniors and seniors. They get up and down. There's not going to be an issue with being in the big gym. They're just out there hooping. They're out there playing. Ville Platte's another team that I like that plays similar to Neville. They just get up and down and they flat out play. They love it. Looks like I got an Airline hat on. Yeah, representing Airline, man. But hey, this is fun, man. This is a fun bracket. And I think it's really cool to see the rematches of the districts. And yeah, I'm excited. Ruston versus Washita. I think that's another one. Washita's already beat Ruston. I got Ruston on upset alert there. I wanted to talk to Coach Golat. He's not on, being at Parkway. I think Parkway got a good draw at the 11 seed. They're here in the bottom half of this.
I'm here, Chris.
Oh, you just jump back in, man. What's your thoughts on Parkway's draw, man? Let me get you back in.
Oh man, listen, I was talking to one of the parents there last night, and I like that draw. I absolutely love it. Actually, me and Coach Williams was talking about it. We called each other and we were talking about the draw and whatnot being there last year. And we absolutely love it. Now, the one thing about their draw I do not like is having played Prairieville with the kid from St. Amant, right? Yeah. What's her name? Because Parkway's small inside. They don't have any interior bigs or anything. They're pretty much guards, right? But as I was telling Coach Williams, I'll take those 5 battle-tested. All 5 of those starters have been to the state title game every year they've been in high school. So when you got that type of experience and girls know how to get it done, you take that experience. But can they go into Prairieville and win? That's a question mark. But I do love their draw.
Yeah, and when you're an 11 seed, not looking ahead past Salmon, but like Salmon has made strides again. Another team like West Feliciana schedules very well. At the end of the day, you win basketball games, you're gonna like where you're seated. They win basketball games, so they like where they're seated. But with that being said, you got a team that's won multiple state championships. It's what they do. That is a very, very good draw for Parkway. Regardless, and you're talking about Ryan. Ryan's being back at Prairieville. Prairieville is deep, man. They got the forward. Well, go on to play Division I basketball. They've got 2 guards that will go on and play college basketball. It's the real deal, man. It's the real deal. It's gonna be fun. And Coach Armstrong's talking about HL Bourgeois and Walker have also already played. So you've got multiple teams here that have already played district games and or played throughout the season. So it's just one of those years where very, very interesting.
Shout out to Coach Anderson. Shout out to Coach Anderson over at HL Bourgeois. I don't know if y'all talked about him. He's done a great job this year. Done an absolute job. He's done a great job. He's achieving. And that's great. I texted him earlier this year and told him he was doing a great job. So that's going to be a fun matchup there.
And you know, it's again a guy that gets into it and does it the right way. Just put the hours in. You know, whether it's through coming up, through the summer, AAU, whatever it is, put the hours in, and it's freaking not easy at the 5A level. So anybody that makes the playoffs, anybody that has a home game, like, you're a dog. You are a freaking dog, man. So shout out to everybody that's put in the time. It is very, very, very competitive at that 5A level. Division I non-select is a very, very deep bracket. Before we get in, any deeper, South Lafourche is a team. Coach Kathy Luke, she's already in the Hall of Fame, multi-time Hall of Fame coach there. She's back on the sidelines. She's got South Lafourche at the 10 seed. I did want to give them a shout out. Again, Slidell, man, whenever you're trying to go somewhere you've never been before, and trying to get to the quarterfinals, trying to get to Hammond, it's different, man. It is. I'm telling you right now, it is different. Like, you're going on the road. Coach is on the road. He's got experience. He's in the hotel right now. He had pregame meal. He had a team meal with his team. Like, there's things that go into it when you're scheduling stuff. Where you're gonna practice at. I saw. There's some teams that had an exhibition today. You can do that. Like, what are you getting? How are you preparing your team? Whenever you're trying to go somewhere you've never been before, there are more challenges, in my opinion. And I see a coach that's made it to the Hall of Fame that will be playing at Slidell. She's gonna have South Lafourche will have that squad ready. So. Not necessarily putting Slidell on upset alert there. I did mention and talk about the Dillon Springs thing, but South Lafourche could get through Dillon Springs and then turn around and play at Slidell. Anybody else got any other comments? That was like my double-digit city team. I kind of want to give a shout-out, South Lafourche. Anybody else think that any higher seeds or double-digit seeds can make a deep run? I guess we talked about Parkway.
I don't see the record in front of me.
You talked about Parkway too at the 11 seed. So Slidell,
talked about Parkway.
Slidell versus Zachary state championship. Slidell versus Zachary. Who y'all got? That's the state championship. Who y'all think is Slidell or Zachary? Who wins that one? State championship.
I haven't. Zachary just won it last year. They beat us, right? So I'm going to lean towards the champion. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. So I'm going to go Zachary.
Zachary, back-to-back state champs. You heard it here first. Coach Fino, what's your thoughts, man? Slidell or Zachary? You going with Coach Tammy?
Well,
you gave her a little
like
shout
I
out
said,
earlier.
I've watched them both. That one's tough to call, honestly and truthfully. And Prairieville really impressed me. They came down and played over here in the Barb tournament. It's not going to be easy for Slidell to get there, even if they try to get through Prairieville, And
yep.
That's a tough bracket. I mean, there's no guarantee on any of those, but that's another one I like to see. But I agree. I'm gonna say Tammy does her thing over there, and she knows what she's doing. She knows how to handle those kids, and she gets the most out of her kids every year. So you got to be exactly.
It is a really tough bracket. We got people commenting here Western Road if they're healthy. again, West Monroe was a team that I had in my top 25, regardless of classification, preseason. So I agree with it. If they're healthy, I do know they lost some kids to softball. That's tough. You know, Coach Armstrong's talking about Dylan Springs, and they're definitely a sleeper. So you got people in the comments that are also talking. You got West Monroe. You got Mandeville, who has a Division I basketball player. You got West Monroe, who was arguably a top 25 team. If they can figure it out. You got South Lafourche, who has a Hall of Fame coach and a very good young team. You got Dylan Springs, who's made it to the state championship and has got a ton of experience. And like Coach is saying, they're playing extremely well. Man, this is just – I don't think Slidell got a good draw. Like, looking at it right here, man, that for a team that's trying to make it to Hammond for the first time, I don't know, ever, or when's the last time Slidell – anybody in the comments know when's the last time Slidell made it to the top 28 and in Hammond? They got a tough draw, man. Western Row, South Lafourche, Denham, all on that side. That's tough. That is tough. Terrebonne Tigers, man. You know, Terrebonne, we had talked about them a lot. I love them. I had them in the top 25 as well. That team's loaded. Let's go back to that top half of that bracket before we move along. We can talk about it a little bit. We talked about the first round. I've loved Sulphur, man. I have loved Sulphur. I think Sulphur got a good draw. Sulphur and Terrebonne, I think that's people are talking about Terrebonne. I think that is a tough draw for Terrebonne. I think Terrebonne's style is more bang it inside, get it in there to London. And I don't think Sulphur's going to allow them to do that. I think Sulphur's going to try to extend the game, make it into a full court press type of situation, try to get up and down. If Terrebonne can find a way to limit turnovers and get the ball inside, I think they can beat Sulphur. And then if you win that one, congratulations, you got Neville, man. Neville, I don't think a lot of people have seen Neville. I don't think a lot of people in this, and whether in this Facebook group, the YouTube, where we're on YouTube as well, or even the people in this division, I think Neville is the least seen team and probably the biggest sleeper in my opinion. Anybody else got any more comments before we move on? Prairieville's good. I do agree with that.
I'm almost about Sulphur, and I've watched him play multiple occasions. You know, they have a little size. When they're shooting the ball well, they're pretty good.
Yep.
And I think Coach Lobato does a great job of what they do. They defend in that zone, do a really, really good job. And they take the inside. They have the size to take away the post play. So yeah, that's a good matchup. If they do meet them. But like I said, they got Barb first. So that and shout out to Barb. They lost a lot of kids last year. Mina's over there that they coached with Corey at Walker, and they've gotten better and better since the beginning of the season. So that's going to be like you said, a district game, but that's going to be a good one too. But
Yep.
Sulphur does, like I said, they have that ability to upset somebody.
Absolutely. Coach Kendrick, got anything else, man? Slidell won't make it. You heard it here first. Mr. Johnson says.
Nah, man.
That's tough. Want to move us along, man? All right, we'll get into Division One select. Coach Golab, man, you want to start us off here? We got John Curtis at the top half. Chappelle did defeat Karen Crow tonight, so they will advance. You got a lot of the same same district teams. You got Curtis, Chappelle, Mount Carmel, Dominican, all in the same district. You got Riverdale on the bottom half. They're the 2 seed, probably a little high there. St. Joseph Academy, man, talk about somebody that's done a fantastic job. St. Joseph, 3-4 years ago, had 0 young ladies play AAU. Like, not a single person played AAU. That was a predominantly, big-time volleyball school. Coach Tim's done a great job over there as he came over from Catholic. Now he's made a run. They made the top 28 before under his watch, and now here they are. They're the 3 seed. I was really excited to see that, man. He's done a great job. And then other than that, man, you got Miss Kendall Graham sitting there at the bottom in Huntington. Can they make a matchup again? Sulphur beat Neville at Neville last year, second round. That is, I do remember that. Coach Coy, that's a great point. Sulphur struggled in the first round. They were down at halftime. They had a comeback, crazy comeback to win the first round. Then they go on the road and win at Neville last year. So I guess it can be done. Somebody can go on the road and win at Neville. But Coach Kendrick, man, you want to start us off on Division One?
Well, yeah, listen, man, I'll start off with right at the top. I mean, you got John Curtis. They get the number 1 seed, like you said. But if you look ahead, what could potentially be another semifinal rematch, John Curtis versus Huntington, right? Huntington goes through John Curtis last year with Carly Hamilton and Shy Bell now graduated. Amani's now graduated. It's kind of a different ball game now. Everybody thought Huntington would just fall off a little bit because Carly and Shy Bell's now at McNeese and Amani's at Lafayette. You thought both of these teams would just bottom out, but they've just been rocking and rolling. One thing I will say, I like, and I'm a little biased, I don't know, but I like Huntington because I think people are sleeping on Huntington this year. I really think it's going to be hard for anybody to go to 6801 Raspberry Lane and play there, man. That environment is something like none other, right? And I think what's special about Huntington is, and Coach Shine will probably tell you, I don't think they even snipped the kind of team they really could. They still have a lot of basketball left in them. And Kendall Graham, she's kind of been more of that version, that freshman Kendall Graham this year, because a lot sophomore year, junior year, she had Carly with her. So I think people might be sleeping on Huntington a little bit, man.
This is a great comment here. You got Captain Shreve as an 8 seed. If anybody can go on the road and win at John Curtis, Captain Shreve's going to be tough as nails. That is a team that could do it. Man, whenever you look at this bracket, the top half of this bracket is night and day for the bottom half. Respectfully. You got Captain Shreve at the 8 seed, Curtis at top. Coach Arnold's doing a fantastic job there. You got Ash at the 12 seed, and then you got Huntington. Then you scroll down to the bottom. You got St. Joseph is a 3 seed. Scotlandville's beat them. Scotlandville has defeated them. Just loaded at the top, bottom half of the bracket. No disrespect to Riverdale. They're not the second best team in this division. No disrespect to St. Joseph. They've done a fantastic job. They've lost to the 6th seed in this division. And that was within the last week or whatever in a district game. So it's like, man, the 2, 3, 6, Turlins Catholic is, I've seen them live multiple times, is a team that is solid, but I don't know if they're better than Captain Shreve. But all these teams are on the bottom half. Man, this is crazy.
It's going to be crazy in this division, like you say, in this bracket, because one team we're not talking about, I know we mentioned them, is Acadiana. Look what they've done with the freshmen that they have, right? And what does Corey Arnold do? Corey Arnold is always in Hammond. Him and his team, they're going to always find where they're Hammond. And nobody thought he would go in there with rebuilding a situation that was kind of down, and he's got them sitting at the 5 seed. Yes, it's going to be a tough road going to Huntington. I think, but if anybody can go into Huntington, it's Acadiana with that style of pressure that they have. You know what I mean? The style of play that they have. I don't think Acadiana played John Curtis this year, did they?
No.
No.
You got Ash 2 at the 12 seed. That's a crazy 12 seed for this division. I would probably put Ash in a run for the money for Scotlandville, St. Joseph, Turlins, Riverdale, like that. That's like single-digit games at all those.
Exactly. And Ash and Acadiana were supposed to play this year, didn't come to fruition, but I think that'll be a tough matchup for Acadiana as well. The young guards that he has, kind of some experience that Jimmy has at Alexandria. Jimmy's done a good job just staying metal, even kill with his team this year. So yeah, man, this is probably far the most competitive with heavy hitters all over this bracket.
It's just so low to the top. Again, no disrespect to Riverdale, but I mean, I don't even know what their biggest win is. Like, I'm looking through the win. They only have one loss But like De La Salle, they beat De La Salle by 12. Maybe that's their biggest win. Like they haven't beat anybody that's has a home game, a home playoff game outside of De La Salle. They beat Salmon. Okay, they beat Salmon. That was the first game of the year. They beat Salmon by 7. Man, it's just very crazy the way that it turned out. You got St. Joseph's. Scotlandville is a team that Coach Bree's done a great job over there. I saw that program almost dissipate, not have enough kids, and now she's got a ton of freshmen, ton of young kids. Man, they're really believing in. That's going to be a team that we're going to hear about a lot over the next couple of years. Scotlandville is a team that I can see competing for a state title this year, which is 2 years in advance. But because of this draw, I can see them. And then look at the 11th seed, Ponchatoula. Is this a run where
That's what I was just going to say.
Coach Trish can make a run here? I mean, man, the bottom half of this bracket is
Correct.
anybody's game.
When you have the experience at head coach as Coach Tristan, you know she's gonna throw the kitchen sink at whoever, right? That's just her. That's her style of coaching, and she's gonna have her team very well prepared to play basketball. Can that youth stand up against whatever she throws at them? That's gonna be, a great matchup to see. Coach Bree has done a great job, like you say, with that program this year, from where they were last year to just barely having enough kids to get on the bus, right? And now she's sitting at, I think they were 26 and 4 or something like that this year, their record. So she's done a great job. Nobody's doubting what type of coach she is. St. Joseph, like you said, she's already beat them. It's going to be tough right here, this bottom bracket.
That was a 1-point game, last game of the season, man. So it's like, and this bottom half of the bracket is crazy, man. Coach is talking about Coach Holmes is on the broadcast, man, talking about Tioga not being bad either. So this is as crazy as the Division I non-select is with the district matchups. The bottom half of this bracket is just as crazy. And all due respect, how soft this is. Everybody from a 1 through 11 seed love the draw. Everybody. Number 3 love the draw. Number 6 love the draw. Number 7 love the draw. Riverdale love the draw. Ponchatoula love the draw. Hell, St. Thomas More probably love the draw. Tioga love the draw. Everybody on that half of the bracket absolutely loves this bracket because they know, seriously, on February 18th, right now, they have a chance to compete for a state title. Anybody can come out of this.
I spoke with Coach Marcus at Southwood before I got on the this morning before I got on the road, and he absolutely loves it. He said, "Coach, we're gonna get on the road at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna go shoot around somewhere, but we absolutely love our draw." So even Southwood loves their draw, sitting at the 19. You know what I mean? So coaches are excited in the bottom half of this bracket because they potentially, somebody can potentially be sitting there for Huntington, Acadiana, or John Curtis.
And with all due respect, nobody in this half of the bracket is going to have like a sellout crowd because you are going to be able to go on the road and compete. Like you may bring more people to the game because you're traveling and people need rides than people that show up to the game because like you've got a lot of people in this half of the bracket that are just not used to having a home quarterfinal game. So you're going to have an opportunity. If I'm Scotlandville or St. Joseph or Riverdale, I'm trying to hype up my crowd right now because you're going to need them. You're going to need a home crowd. And I could see a situation where a team on the road takes their team on the road and they got a bigger crowd than whoever it is at home. Scotlandville's Bow Test has run numerous games, overtime wins. Scotlandville, like we said, is going to be a team that's going to continue to get better. The experience that they're going to gain from this playoff run is going to be huge. But again, you got Ponchatoula coming in. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Ponchatoula is and has been the man in this division. So you got to get through them first. Coach Tracy, you got anything else for this division before we move on?
No, just kind of looking. I agree. The Ponchatoula, if they get by Ben Franklin, the Ponchatoula Scotlandville would be a game that, you can't just say Scotlandville 6, they're 11, they got it. Ponchatoula's always been and well known for their success. I think that would be a really good game to watch. Keep an eye on.
Out of everybody on that half of the bracket, Ponchatoula has the toughest schedule as far as battle tested, and it's not even close. Ponchatoula has scheduled everyone, gone through a couple of banged up injuries and everything, but they're better than the 11 seed right there. Like they are, you could arguably say they could switch around and have a home game. You know, and getting that first game at home against Ben Franklin, getting your feet wet, getting those young ladies like rocking and rolling, man. Hey, that's going to be interesting, man. That's going to be a fun one to watch. But again, guys, we really appreciate the comments. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to jump into Division 2 non-select. If you're just joining us, we've done both Division 1s. We've done B and C, and we've done Lakeview, which is y'all. What are y'all again, Coach? So hard to keep up with.
Division 4 non-select.
Division 4 non-select. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 left, so we're halfway through here. Division 2 non-select. Coach Golat, you want to start us off, man? I've seen Sterlington. I like Sterlington, man. They got a young lady made the LHS BCA All-Star team. Shout out to them. Respectfully, they've done a great job. They're earning all the accolades there. Man, there's another fun one, man. You got Ironway. Just cannot find a way to dodge Wassman. What's your thoughts here on this bracket? This bracket's fun.
This bracket's fun. Shout out to Sterlington. You know, they lose 2 kids. You know, and everybody thought, you know, they made it to the finals last year, right? I think, if I'm mistaken, right? They were in Hammond last year, right? Yeah, they're in Hammond, and they top 4, last 4 standing in Hammond last year. And you just knew that they were going to find a way to get back here. But everybody thought, they're in trouble because they lose 2 kids, I thought. And here they are getting the number 1 seed. They're still around that area with Wasman. Like you said, Iowa cannot escape Wasman. They'll look like a potential third quarterfinal matchup. Wasman is Wasman, though. And everybody in my area, everybody in my area, and I'm not hating. I don't want to. Please don't think I'm hating or anything. You know, I think Wasman has taken some time this year to find their footing. You know, when you lose Wilson, that driver of that ship that she was, the captain that she was on that floor, now playing at escapes my mind, down Thibodeau in Thibodeau. Where it is Nichols. So she's in Nichols, right? And she's doing good, fabulous job. But I think they're the 4 seed here because it took them some time. And we talk about scheduling. He didn't dodge anybody.
Nobody.
He played a tough schedule. He went to Duncanville. He played a tough schedule. So a lot of his losses came to teams that, you know, he wasn't dodging any smoke. So they're going to be battle tested. Yeah, they're the 4 seed. But once you get to Hammond, you know, like I know the seeds are out the way and you just got to win 2 basketball games, right? So 4-time state, can they make it 5? It's interesting. That's my take on the top half. I think it'll come down to perhaps Sterlington and Wasman in the semis on the top half.
The 5-peat, man. The Wasman Invitation.
That's crazy.
I think Wasman has got to like their draw as well. They're still getting that home game at Wasman is a big deal. They could have easily flipped with Iowa. They could have been the 5 seed, and Iowa could have been the 4 seed. And that game, you know, Wasman could have had to travel to Iowa, and that would have been a sellout. It's hard to win on the road in the quarterfinals. And, you know, like that's what you're competing for whenever you try to get that 4 seed. Shout out to Idaho that they beat Bossier. Yeah, like talking about their 58 Iota. What did I say? Idaho Iota defeated Bossier, so they're gonna advance. They'll take on probably West Feliciana. Man, it's Iowa at the 5 seed. That's tough. And I'll tell you what, Lakeshore at the 12 seed, man. Do not sleep on Lakeshore. I like their style of play. Their coach does a very good job. Motion style. It's gonna be hard to turn them over. Passing, cutting. Like they run a good little system there. And Lakeshore is a bad draw for Iowa. In my opinion, like I just wouldn't look and be so focused on Wasman and overlook Lakeshore. You know, we got a lot of people talking how strong Iowa is. I agree, but Lakeshore is a team. Whenever you're looking at that double digit next to their name, they're a team that is better and a team that's very well coached. Coach Trace, you got anything else you want to add on the top half before we kind of move into the bottom half of this one?
Well, I'm going to agree with Coach. Walsman has not dodged anybody. My God, I looked at the schedule just now. Oof, they have played some teams. Iowa's gotten much better. They've been young so long. You know, they had an injury to one of their kids this year and kind of dropped down. And when she came back, they kind of picked it back up. She's another one that won't dodge anybody. You know, that's and like you said, me and her talk often. Me and Courtney talk often, and you know, she still feels Walsman may be fourth. They're still the team to beat. You know, to that point.
And that was a semifinal game last year, right? Or was it a final game last year? What was it?
Yes, sir. No, semis.
Semis game, yeah, last year. So now they're meeting the quarters, if possible. They'll probably meet in the quarter. So you have a potential semifinal game in the quarterfinals. We talked about that last year, where we had a lot of potential semifinal game, could be potential final games in the quarterfinals, and it looked like that's another one that could possibly be there this year. With those two, I like what Coach said, man. Always been young for so long, and they're just keep getting better and better and better. The only thing is they always find their way next to Wasman.
Yep. In order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And I think with it still being the Wasman Invitational, like it seems to be.
I wouldn't go with the Wasman Invitational this year, Chris. I know we did it last year, but let me tell you why. I'm going all money in this year on LaGrange Lady Gators, baby.
Okay, you heard it here first. Wasman does not win their 5th straight state title. LaGrange wins. What is that? Would that be number 3 in Coach Holmes'
Yeah, it'd be his
career?
third.
Yeah, be Lakeem's third.
I think that he has done a great job this year. The senior class that he has, you know, he's just been steady. He jumped up to number 1 for a minute, fell back to number 2. They haven't dodged any smoke as well. I think they're going to be battle tested. If they're there, I like that matchup: Wasman versus or Iowa versus LaGrange. Or I think LaGrange already beat Iowa this year. Even Sterlington. I think LaGrange has a great. If he's sitting, he's like, you know, I'm sitting pretty good.
Yep, them Gators, man. Hey, shout out to them Gators, man. They got into the transfer portal. They pulled off the number 1 transfer portal. Returning to LaGrange. We'll just kind of leave it at that. But man, shout out to Kayla, man. I'm glad that she landed on her feet. It's a terrible situation over there, but all seriousness, man, LaGrange couldn't have been a better spot for her. As the child, the kid, as well as the team, everyone's benefits there. So I'm glad that she was ruled eligible. Just a interesting situation. But moving into the bottom half of that bracket, man, South Bow is a team that I think they love their draw. I think South Bow loves their draw. North Vermilion has challenged themselves. Man, you know, I think Coach Jack's done a great job. I always advocate for him to be one of the all-star coaches. I think he's done that good of a job. Although Coach Otis has won 4 straight state titles, going for his 5th, I think the job that the guys over at North Vermilion have done over the last 3 or 4 years have been just as impressive. In my opinion, again, with him being at the 3 seed there, this could be their year to get to the top 28 in Hammond. If he does, I think that's worthy of being, you know, coach of the year in this division. Just does a great job of scheduling, great job of getting their team and continuing to build. Salafrush has got their hands full, but again, at a 6 seed, they've got a great draw. I do think this is the year that North Vermilion punches their ticket and they get into the top 28 at Hammond. Coach is always there. This year, he brings his team with him. And I think that LaGrange versus North Vermilion game is going to be great, man. I think that's going to be a great one. Coach Armstrong was talking about Albany. Albany is another team that was banged up, injury. Their best player was out for a long, long time. Bruley is another team, top 10 seeded team, challenges themselves. But I could see Albany coming out and going to LaGrange. Albany's going to travel. That's going to be a crazy quarterfinal game. LaGrange's going to have to show up and show out, pack the gym, because Albany could travel, 2 hours, 3 hours at that time, and they could take over that gym. The purple and black could turn into a maroon gym real quick. And Albany's got a ton of shooters. And if there's one thing that can help you with upsetting games and winning ball games, it's shooting that 3-ball. And you knock down 4, 5, 6, 7 threes. Next thing you know, you're up by 10 points. And you have an opportunity to win on the road in the quarterfinals. I've always been an Albany fan. I do think that you got a puncher's chance, in my opinion, this year. We saw that last year where they drew North Vermilion. They went on the road and won at North Vermilion. But not putting LaGrange on upset alert, but that's South Lafourche and Albany, teams that I would keep an eye on in this bottom half of the bracket.
Well, as we always say, and now as they say down there in Albany, tradition never graduates, right?
Yep, absolutely. Tradition never graduates, man. They and South Bow too. South Bow's the same thing, man. South Bow's done a fantastic job, man.
They have played a tough schedule. They're very physical. They run the floor well. If they meet North Vermilion, that would be a fun one to watch also.
Guys, y'all got anything else on the bottom half of this one before we move along?
I think we're good.
It's gonna be a fun one to keep an eye on.
LaGrange Invitational.
LaGrange Invitational. All right, let's move it along, man. Division 2 select. Again, guys, we've already done a few of these. We've only have, I think, 2 or 3 more. Division 2, 3, and 3. So, Division 2 select. Again, man, you see Baton Rouge basketball is at another level. Shout out to Coach Kim Mulkey and what she's done over there. I think that's been a big reason of it. You got Madison Prep. You've got Parkview Baptist and U High, the 1, 2, and 3 seed, all from the same district. When's the last time that's happened? When's the last time 1, 2, and 3 in any bracket that I can't recall any bracket where 1, 2, and 3 all come from the same district? Well, what's your thoughts here, man? I like Northside, man. I wish Northside could have got a little bit better draw, kind of in that on the Carver side of this bracket. Maybe even like the Vanderbilt Catholic or the E.D. White draw. I think Northside just wasn't able to get high enough in the bracket. But, man, Northside's got the ability. Coach Rogers' daughter's over there. She's doing a fantastic job, in my opinion. I don't like their draw. That was a team that I was really interested on seeing. I wish they could have been on the bottom half of this part. But Northside is a team that I would keep an eye on. That's in that like 6, 7, 8 range. But yeah, what's your thoughts, man? Guys in the comments, let us know what's your thoughts on Division 2 select. Coach Golad, you there? I lost you.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I said I'll defer to you guys on this one. I didn't see anyone in this division play this year, so I didn't. I wasn't fortunate enough to see anyone in this. I've talked to Coach Haynes some, but haven't seen them play this year. I've seen Booker T. Washington and number 17 play. We played them this year. They got a big man who's very underrated. Runs the floor real well. She's at the floor real well. We were in the Stanley tournament, and then they played us this year. And she is a senior this year that I think we don't know. That's one of those kids that's a hidden jewel. And college coaches, if they get their eyes on her, they'll be trying to sign her. Coach Rudy always does a good job. When he was at Northwood, he does a good job. He's over now, taking over for Coach Wynn that passed away this year. So he stepped into that role as the assistant into the head role. So they got a chip on their shoulders, man. Well, they're just they have a saying win one for win, right? win for win. And so they've been with that monkey on their shoulder all year. So Peabody could be on I know it's 16-17. I'm not sure they can go in and to Madison Prep and upset them. But they're going to give Madison Prep at least a run for the money because they're scrappy and they're going to play hard from first whistle to the last.
I agree. I thought they got a bad draw. That's another one. I thought Northside and Peabody both got a bad draw. Yeah, shout out to Coach Cox, man, from Airline, giving Coach G a shout out, man. Lakeview Gators in the playoffs year one, man. Good luck to everybody that's still on with us, man. That has playoff games tomorrow, man. Really appreciate everybody tuning in. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to Carver, man. Carver, we talk about New Orleans basketball being down and way down at that, man. But Carver is a team that was talking about shutting their program down again, and here they are. They will host a quarterfinal home playoff game. I really hope that the city kind of rallies around that and supports them young ladies, man. But they've got some big time wins. They beat Vanderbilt Catholic. They beat Chappelle. They beat Dominican. They beat De La Salle. They're beating teams that are in the playoffs. Now their schedule's gotten a lot lighter down the stretch with their district not being as tough. But man, shout out to Carver, man. Carver, the coach has done a good job over there. They're playing physical. That's a team that's going to have a chip on their shoulder with something to prove. If anybody can knock down the Madison Preps or Parkview or U-High, that actual whole district there, it's going to be Carver. Carver's got that chip on their shoulder, man. Shout out to Carver. And like somebody was talking about, Prep's going to win this side easy as long as the coach doesn't overcoach. I agree with that. They're definitely the better team. But teams that could knock them out, Northside, Carver's going to be hyped up for that game, man. Carver is going to be hyped up for that game. We'll move it down to the bottom half. Again, you got some very familiar names. So you got Vanderbilt Catholic, Edie White, both in the same district, same area, same part of town. You can throw a rock at both of those. Parkview Baptist, U-High, and Madison Prep, all in the same city. Like, this is a lot of very familiarity with everyone. And then you throw in the Carvers and possibly Northsides. But everyone's familiar with everyone. Vanderbilt Catholic is your defending state champ. They're still the 6th seed. Could y'all see the 6th seed winning this one? This is interesting, man. U-High played really well early. They did lose to Parkview Baptist and Madison Prep, but they're still the 2 seed. As a coach, is that where you want to be? Like, that might be where I want to be. I might want to be at the 2 seed, having lost to Parkview Baptist and Madison Prep. Now all I got to do is come back and get a little revenge there. I don't know, man. What's y'all's thoughts? As a coach, are you okay with being U-High? You're the 2 seed. You've already lost to Parkview Baptist and Madison Prep. What's y'all's thoughts on that take?
Chris, is Parkview Baptist the one I said was going to steamroll or something like that? They had me that year in the
other way around. You said
with the steamrolling.
It's going to get steamrolled. You said they were going to get steamrolled, and they played it. Coach said they played it roughly 1,000 times at practice.
So yeah, I would, having played that, it's hard to beat a team. You know what I mean? Who won that game before?
Parkview Baptist Parkview Baptist beat U-High. Madison Prep beat both. U-High lost to both.
U-High's, at the two seed, lost to both. It's probably going to watch a lot of film to clean up what went wrong. As a coach, we got to figure out, we're the 2 seed, but we've lost to these 2. Can we beat them? Can we make some adjustments and go in and beat them? Well, yeah, we won't play them in our gym. We won't play them in their gym. We'll play them in the big arena where everything's different, right? The court's bigger. The depth perception is different. So we'll just take it one game at a time. And if they're fortunate to get there, if I'm a coach, I'm telling my team, if we're fortunate to get there, we'll make the necessary adjustments and give it a swing.
And it's hard to beat somebody twice in a row. You beat somebody, and you basically gonna do the same thing. You beat them. When you lose, you're gonna make more adjustments. And so it's hard to beat somebody twice in a row.
I think that's something to keep an eye
And
on.
that's definitely true. And, we learned that lesson. We played a team, beat them by 31. They come to our place and then they beat us by 1. So, you know what I mean? So these kids these days, man, just keeping them focused and not overlooking a team. So can Parkview Baptist stay focused? Can Madison Prep stay focused and say, hey, we don't care what they did. We did in the regular season. It's a new season now. And if you sleep on anybody, you could possibly get beat in this time because everybody's hungry.
Madison Prep's trying to get back to the state title game, trying to win another state title. They've done what they had to do, right? They're not in this part of the bracket. This part of the bracket is clearly tougher. You got Carver, who's never been there before. They're trying to get it done. Northside rookie head coach done a great job. Like Madison Prep has the easier part. This part of the bracket's tough. Parkview Baptist is going to have to beat the defending state champ with 2 college basketball players on their team. Vanderbilt Catholics going to go on the road. Like that's not a good draw. You don't want the defending state champ with 2 college basketball players coming to your place in the quarterfinals. Then you got Edie White versus U High. Edie White's got a future Division I player as a freshman. They've got nothing to lose. They're going on the road, and they're going to play at U High. So like this part of the bracket is so tough. And then Madison Prep's just licking their chops on the other side, trying to see who comes out of it. I don't know, man. If you had to pick one team, it's hard not to pick Madison Prep right now, just because of how much this other side has to go through. Guys in the comments, man, we really appreciate everybody for just joining the conversation, man. Really appreciate it. What are, I guess, from what we've gone over so far as we jump into, you guys got anything else on this one before we jump along?
No, we don't.
We'll go Division III, but from what we've seen so far, as well as looking at the other classes, Class B, we Cassandra, we did that one to start. So we started with both coaches' classes. So we've done B, C already. You can go back and watch that though. So, what is like the highest seed that you could see winning right now? Is there any 5 or 6? 7 or 8, maybe a double-digit seed that you could realistically see winning a state title? I always like to kind of talk about that. I think that's something interesting. Parkway, at 11, like you start getting into these interesting.
I was just going to say Parkway, man. I know, you would say, Coach, you're just biased. You were coaching them last year. I know. I just know that if those kids that you've been there 3 straight years, you won 2 of them. They know what it takes to get it done. And I think if they put it all together and play their style of basketball, what Coach Deuce has them playing this year, I think they could be at the 11th seed. I said it a while ago when we talked about them. I love their draw. The only question I have is the Prairieville game if it's there. But if they go in there and do that, I think Parkway wins it all.
You're talking about like something that hasn't been done in a long time. A double-digit seed team make the top 28, but also win it. So it's just interesting to talk about. Coach Tracy, you have anybody, I guess, or any other teams that are in like that 5, 6, 7,
right.
8?
Well, yeah, you can get to Class B. We can talk about a few of them, but Anacoco's 8. Yep. Hathaway. There's a bunch when you get to the Class B they could upset anybody at any given time. I would agree.
Absolutely. Well, man, we're going to get into it. Division III non-select. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's the division I was going in right now. That division. Go ahead.
Yeah, Division III non-select. Like we talked about, Dillon Springs matching up with Slidell. It's like taxes, death, and every year you're gonna see Slidell and Dillon Springs in the playoffs. Will we see French Settlement versus Westlake? They've died the same side of the bracket, so I guess that's a breath of fresh air for French Settlement. They're the 1 seed here, arguably the favorite. But you look down at the 4 seed, you got someone in the same parish as you. one exit down, you're playing the same team. So that if that's a quarterfinal, I mean, if that game is at the top 28, that's going to be a fun one. Everyone just kind of traveled down within 20 minutes of Hammond. Do you see any way French Settlement doesn't make it this year? We've been talking about them for years. That this is their year to make it. This is their year to make it. This is their year to make it. Is there anybody on that top half of the bracket that can keep them from punching their ticket to Hammond? And this is a good comment right here talking about Ville Platte. I agree. Ville Platte is my team to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on Ville Platte. Go ahead.
That's what I was fixing to say. I think Ville Platte is going to be one that they better get ready because they're athletic. They play together. They're a fun team to watch. I've watched them play a couple of times, and they're kind of sleeping and snuck in there. They'll have their hands full on that top with them.
Coach Golad, you got anything on this top half of the bracket?
Not on the top half. Not on the top half. I didn't get a chance to see anyone on the top half. Shout out to Oakdale though. Just on the top half. They lost their pretty much their stars from the state championship team, but Monty Young graduated, correct? And new coach, but they're still at 13. So they've done a great job just to balance it out and get a top 15 seed.
This is the comment I wanted to talk about. This is a great comment again, guys. We really appreciate all the feedback, all the comments. French Settlement beat Springfield by 1. That would be a crazy rematch. I do agree with that. That's what we're talking about. That game would be in goodness. That game would be in Hammond. So that would be a fun one. Being under the lights where neither team has made it there. And I don't know how long. I don't remember the last time French Settlement's made it. I know Springfield hasn't made it in I don't know, ever. But anybody in the comments, y'all let us know when's the last time French Settlement made it to Hammond, the Final Four, and when's the last time Springfield made it. That would be something to keep an eye on. I don't know if French Settlement had their other two players back at that time. That was close. So I think the game was the 19th. So, yeah, that was probably pretty close. Who else is in? So Ville Platte, we talked about them. Ville Platte could play spoiler here. Doyle is another team we kind of talk about. Their style of play could, like them and Ville Platte getting into it, that's going to be a track meet. Absolute track meet. I wonder if Doyle and Springfield have played this year. Let me try to pull that real quick. Doyle lost to Springfield by 15. So, yeah, it looks like Springfield's the favorite to come out of that bottom half. Ville Platte, somebody that could play spoiler. I don't see anyone stopping French Settlement this year before we get to Hammond. But that Hammond rematch of Springfield would be fun. Or even Ville Platte. That would be a fun one for sure. 2020 was the last time. I don't know what 2026 minus 2020 is, but that's a long time. So no one on the team has made it. I would imagine no one on maybe an 8th grader at that point, maybe 7th grader. But it's been a while. And Springfield, I would imagine, has been even longer. Okay, bottom half of the bracket. Man, shout out to Westlake, dude. Losing the Twins and finding a way to be a 3 seed. Man, I know you talked about Oakdale and giving them credit, but man, can we give Westlake some credit? I did not expect them to be a 3 seed after graduating what they graduated. Man, Coach Tracy, man, what's your thoughts on the bottom half of this bracket right here? Any teams that you've seen in your area or around?
Yeah, I've seen a few. Westlake ended up getting a really good player, young freshman, tall kid. And off the top of my head, I cannot remember her name. She's legit. She's going to be. You're going to hear about her pretty soon. And with her, she can handle, she can shoot, she can block shots. Really good defender. That's what kind of put them back where they were after losing the Twins. They also got a little guard that came in that handles it well. They got a couple of shooters. They're good. Watched them play multiple times. Glory does a good job with them. And like I said, they're not one of those. They don't belong at number 3. They belong in the top 4 without a doubt. They're going to be something that people better get ready for. Looking at some of the rest on this bottom part, I really don't know a lot about some of these. I mean, I've watched Oak Grove play. Caroline is still going to be the one that everybody's going to know, which can do. The goal for them has gotten much better to me than last year. They've improved. That's got to be the 2 top teams in the bottom part of this bracket by far.
Absolutely, and it's Roussel that they're talking about 2029.
That's
man.
it. That's her name.
Yeah, her dad's on there talking as well. Really appreciate it. Yeah, she's done a fantastic job, man. It's cool, man. It's really exciting to see a kid fall in love with the game of basketball. Just figured it out. I remember, I would probably say 2 or 3 years ago, had a really loaded AAU team, and she wasn't the best player on the team, but filled out, continuing to grow, continuing to play. She started to expand her game outside of playing rim to rim and stuff like that. And man, it's just gone to a whole new level. When that light bulb goes off, man, it is fun to see, and to see it go off in that young lady, and just to see the growth that she's made, man. Shout out to Roussel, and she's got Westlake on the map, man. This is her team. The Lady Rams will be headed by Roussel for the next 3 to 4 years, and it's going to be fun, man. She's one of the best players, if not the best player in the state of that freshman class. Man, can Westlake find a way to get back? That would be fun to watch her and Caroline Bradley go at it. Like, man, like what's y'all's thought? Is there any way Caroline Bradley doesn't hold the state championship? Like, it kind of goes back to Michaela Williams at this point. Like, you get there. Like, you gotta, in order to, like, she was national preseason player of the year, Naismith national preseason player of the year watch list. In order to be on that list again, you gotta hold up a state championship, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. She has got to find a way. Her supporting cast has got to step up a little bit. I stood there watching them last year. They were the game before us, and that Saturday night, and I look up at the scoreboard, man, and they had like 44 points. She had like 40 of them. You know what I mean? So 40. So her supporting cast has got to step up a little bit. I like the matchup. A team that I like is Red River. The Crawford kid from Red River, she's getting a lot. Her offer of starting to pick up. She plays for Primetime over the summer, but she's got Red River back. And Red River's in my area, and you remember Red River that they would prepare for Red River. They were down, but Coach Kim has just put her head down, went to work, and built that program back up from where they were. And I like their draw because they've already beat Mansfield twice this year, right? So if you look at them, they've already beaten Manning, right? So there's 2 teams that's in their district that I think they've already beat. And they're looking, hey, can we go with the guards that we have, match them with the guards that Oak Grove have, and Crawford, if she's she's not as tall as Caroline, but she's very much as skilled. Right. And so I think that Red River's got to be really happy with the draw they got. If they can keep Caroline under control, I can see Red River. If they keep Caroline under control, that's the big question mark. I can see them sneaking their way to the semis if they can keep Caroline under control.
I'll tell you what, the only good thing about Red River playing Oak Grove is that game's going to be on Monday, and they can go to church on Sunday. And they can say their prayers, and maybe they'll have a chance then. So thank goodness, Sundays in between that game. But man, going on the road and playing at Oak Grove, man, that's tough, man. That's tough. And honestly, I think Oak Grove is one of those teams that transitions to the big court better than really anybody. You're going to want to try to press them and do all this stuff. Bigger court's a little bit harder to press. It's harder to double team inside the post. Like, it's difficult, and I mean, as far as someone having to, I saw it in Caroline Bradley's eyes, the same thing I saw in Michaela Williams' eyes last year. That kid, whenever the lights are on, she freaking shows up. And that's why she was on the Naismith National Watch List. Naismith Player of the Year. I got goosebumps right now.
Hey,
If you haven't seen this kid, like get your freaking butt out to Hammond and watch this young lady play. I talk about it all the time with Coach Trey from Barb. That is something that those kids will remember for the rest of their life when Michaela Williams freaking lit them up. I texted whenever Michaela was going off in one of the other games recently, like, man, like it's like this memories. Like you don't have a Naismith Watch List National Player of the Year come around very often. She's a freaking junior, man. Like get out there and watch this kid play, man. I'm excited for the young lady from Red River that you talked about to get that opportunity to challenge herself. I think that's also going to let her see where the bar's at. I love that point that you made, but man, it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. And the same thing for Russell. You're trying to get to that point where Caroline's already at, playing for Team USA, #1 post player in the world in the 2027 class. You're trying to get to that point. Let's see what that measuring stick is. If I'm Red River, I love my draw. I want to know where that stick is. If I come up short, it is what it is, man. But we're going back to, like I said, we're going back to the weight room. We're going back to the drawing board. These kids are young. Like we're coming back again. But I want to test myself. And I love that you're going to have two forwards have the opportunity, both at Red River and likely Russell at Westlake, get the opportunity to test themselves against the best post player in the world. The world. Anybody else who needs Carolina reclassified?
she's definitely. Yeah, she's definitely legit. We don't take anything. I don't take anything away from Caroline, man. I'm kind of like what you meant. If you haven't seen Caroline play, get your eyes on her before she graduates and gets off to college. I was, when she was first coming up, I was like, who's the kid they talking about up at Oak Grove? I haven't seen him, and I said, possibly can't be as big as she's talking about, right? Until I seen her, and it's like, yes, she's every bit that she's built to be, right? And so, it's another, like you said, other additional talent, man, with Michaela, now her just putting on for the state of Louisiana, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be fun. Like you say, those two kids from Red River and Westlake getting a chance to battle her, but Caroline's Caroline, and she don't have all the offers that she for a reason. So it's gonna be a tough draw. But I think Oak Grove will prevail there.
No doubt. No doubt. Coach Trace, you got anything else to add on this group right here, man? And before we go on, man, Caroline Bradley will be a McDonald's All-American. Like, you do not get the opportunity to watch Ferryman and McDonald's All-American. She's the best post player in the state since Kalani Brown. Kalani Brown was a 2-time All-American at Baylor and was a first-round draft pick in the WNBA. She is that effing good. Go watch her. If I get knocked out, I'm going to freaking watch Red River play at Oak Grove in the quarterfinals. Like, that game would be crazy, and I'm definitely not missing no game at Hammond. Anyways, I'm on my soapbox. Coach Trace, you got anything else on this one?
No, sir, not at all.
All right, let's move it on. Division III. Again, guys, appreciate all the comments, man. Feel free to comment anything you got. The LCA Invitational, man. We've talked about the Wassman Invitational. They go on to try to win 5 in a row. LCA, I lost count, man. I'll be honest. I lost count. I think Coach Rogers is down to some fingers between him and Coach Jinx. I don't know where they keep all these rings at, man. I heard Copper's getting very expensive. Maybe they're in the pawn shop at this point. But man, LCA has got the 1 seed again, man. Can anybody in this side of the bracket compete with them? Go ahead.
Is Coach Rogers is he in the Hall of Fame that he needs to be?
I don't know if he's in the LHSBC. If not, I would definitely nominate him this year. That's a great point. He definitely needs to be.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be, man. He has done a great job with this. Didn't this star go down for what's her name? Come on, help me
Yeah,
out.
Samuels is down.
Khalil,
Talia is down. Yep.
yeah, Samuels is down, and they're still number one, right? So, um, it just speaks volumes to the job that he does year in and year out with his program, right? He built a program that's a sustain players coming and going, and you know, I think he does an absolute great job. So I think when we call it Lafayette Christian Invitational, uh, can anybody? I don't know if anybody in this division can beat them. Can De La Salle beat them? Chris, you've seen De La Salle's Coach Mike.
No, I mean De La Salle has got the experience now, but it's just another level, man. I feel like it's gonna be the monkey on their back for quite some time. Newman is young. I think this experience, Newman's got to find a way to win that game in the out of the winner out of Episcopal and St. Mary's. But again, going on the road playing at LCA, Newman talent wise is very very young. Got some really good upcoming junior high kids and stuff. Newman is a team like a De La Salle that's on the rise. They're not quite ready for LCA, of course. I would love to, if I'm Newman, have had like a 7 draw or something like that, be on the other side here. Menard now has the advantage on the inside. I will say that. With Carly now not having to go against Samuels, if Menard can find a way to get past De La Salle is going to be up and down, trying to press, things like that. Menard is a team where I could see a mismatch at a position. Now, I always say guards win games. I guess Caroline Bradley might be the exception to the rule, but Carly is going to have a huge advantage on the inside. Can they give LCA some problems? Possibly. We'll jump down here to the bottom half as well. Coach Tracy, you got anything that any of the teams that you've seen? Have you seen Rose Pine? I saw Rose Pine this summer, man. I was really impressed with what Coach has done over there.
Yeah, they me and Errol talk. His style of play, he's not gonna get up and press you and so forth, but he does such a good job with what he does with his kids. You go back and you look, De La Salle I'm not familiar with. If you go back and you look at Menard, their guard play's gotten better. But I'm with you. The post play, to see how Errol would handle the Carly from Menard would be an interesting matchup to say the least. When you do that, going to the bottom, me and Coach from Rose Pine talk. They do such a good job in that zone, and they're always competitive, and he does a really good job with them. They got a shooter there. When she's on, she can really fill it up. I think he's got a chance to get there again. Looking at the bottom of this bracket, there's a lot of teams I'm not familiar with, but I got to give the nod to his kids. They've been there. He's been there. I think they got a good shot at getting back.
Man,
yeah, shout out to Coach. Yeah, he does a great job, man. That's my buddy there, and got lost in the shuffle. Me transitioning over to Lakeview, didn't get the chance to talk as much as we usually talk. But just the style, his program, he's another one that has just built a program, and they do it the right way, year in and year out. And style of play that those kids play. He tells you early in the year they take their lumps, right? I know they did last year, and they were still in where they ended up, right? And they just keep trucking along every year, and they find their way back to him every year. So he just does it the right way. Shout out to him, and what they do with that program.
Man, De La Salle just got another bad draw, man. It's like it takes a lot to go into these playoffs. Injuries throughout the season, just a tough draw. Like De La Salle's beat Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart's a 3 seed. Sacred Heart again has put themselves in a position to get back into run at Hammond and a possible state championship, man. I'm telling you, dude. this was 5 years ago. We would walk into the gym and we would run the clock. Like as the jump ball goes up, we would agree to run the clock. You know how you have to run the clock after 35 points? The clock would never stop. The only time the clock would stop was in between quarters. And now you got Sacred Heart, man. Shout out to them putting themselves in prime position to make another state championship run. Historic run last year. And now here they are again in a great spot, man. Dunham, Coach Asia, formerly coaching over at Southeastern as assistant coach. She's got her team at the 6th seed. Man, Sacred Heart's better than them. Sacred Heart's better than them. So Sacred Heart will be sitting there waiting on Rose Pine or whoever else it is that comes out of that bottom half, man. De La Salle just gets a short end of the stick. Menard also gets a short end of the stick. De La Salle and Menard having to be at the top half of the bracket, man. They're just two of the better teams that have to run into each other. Only one guy can advance. It's unfortunate, but man, they got tough draws there because again, like I said, De La Salle's beat Sacred Heart. De La Salle's beat some of these other teams, and then whoever wins, congratulations, you won. But now you got to play LCA. The top half of the bracket is tough, man. I do agree. I like Rose Pine. I like what Coach Kelly's done. And that's another one where it's starting to get like Albany. Tradition never graduates. They just keep it moving. Keep it moving. We're going to move it on along. What division we on here? This is Midland. We did that one already, right? Yep. Shout out to Lakeview, baby. East Feliciana tomorrow.
Did you do Division 4 select?
Division 4 select. This is the last one, right? I think so. Let me double check.
It just told me bracket's not available.
Division 4. Yeah, Division 4 selects. Last one. Southern Lab Invitational. Man, what's our thoughts here? Can anybody compete with Southern Lab? I hate Cedar Creek losing Taylor Martinez. I thought that would be somebody that possibly could. We saw them in the state championship last year. Just really looking forward to seeing that rematch. It's going to be a lot harder not having one of your starting guards. So that's unfortunate. But again, that's probably a matchup that we're going to see. Cedar Creek versus Southern Lab. Asia Pate, man, just got that team at another level, man. And shout out to the coaching staff, man. They've done a good job picking up where last coaching staff left off, man. She's done a fantastic job and got Southern Lab not only as a 1 seed, but arguably as one of the top teams in the state, regardless of classification. Despite being one of the youngest and not really youngest, but one of the smallest schools, they compete against everybody, man. They played John Curtis last game of the year, played the Zachary's, played the Madison Preps, played everybody. Any place, anywhere, they traveled all over the place. What's y'all's thoughts? Can anybody take down Southern Lab here, or what's some other teams that you're gonna want to keep an eye on?
I mean, you always got to keep your eye on J.S. Clark at the bottom down there. We're talking about top half or the whole thing?
Whole thing.
Oh, yeah, you got to keep an eye on J.S. Clark at the bottom. Coach Fuller moving over from Lakeview to J.S. Clark. Kind of kept them rolling as well. And I'm looking here. Most of these games are already played out tonight. I see Opelousas Catholic beat St. Frederick. St. Martinsville beat St. Martin's Episcopal beat St. John, and then Westminster Christian beat Anson. I don't know if you got that update yet.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, most of these teams are going chalk here. So most of these things, J.S. Clark and Southern Lab are the only two still waiting, and St. Hem is still waiting on who they're going to play. So I think if it goes pretty chalk, Southern Labs, J.S. Clark is going to be hard. It's going to be an interesting game, I can tell you that much. It's going to be a get up and down game. Get your track shoes ready. But other than that, I think it's kind of Southern Lab. You got to lean towards Southern Lab there.
This is one where you got a lot of really good coaches too, man. You got Stan Humphreys at Ouachita Christian. Has made deep state championship runs. You talked about J.S. Clark, won a state title. Crystal Flowers, I talked about her at Southern Lab, made deep runs. Cedar Creek was there last year, deep runs. Like, these guys have played at high levels, personally coached at high levels. This is going to be a lot of hours watched, a lot of film watched between this group of basketball coaches in this one. Like what Coach Tracy, what's your thoughts? Can you see anyone else outside of one of those, I guess, top 4 teams? I don't know, man. Like Southern Labs has done such a good job of preparing themselves. I wouldn't have scheduled that hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's going to be tough for anybody to beat them. Looking at the schedule they've played, because they have played they don't shy away from nobody. To that point, J.S. Clark has played a tough schedule too. They got to be the two that stand out more than anybody else. In Cedar Creek, I know. I had heard the other day that they had lost somebody. They were fun to watch. I got a chance to watch them play. Other than that, I haven't seen a bunch of the other schools play. But just by looking at this bracket and looking at what they've accomplished in the past years and what I've seen from some of these teams, Southern Lab and J.S. Clark really stand out. They're going to be the two that are going to be hard to beat.
Absolutely, man. And this, I mean, again, I keep going back to Southern Lab, man. Shout out to Coach Flowers, man. Like, as a new coach coming in, taking over, to go with the schedule that they went with and to keep that team together, man, that is very impressive. And as a coach, where you can lean on this young man's daughter and Asia Pate, I mean, like, that definitely helps. Obviously, whenever you just lean on one of the best guards in the state, two-way defensive, brings it every night, rallies the troops. But, man, they freaking went out and challenged themselves. And the team bought in, man. The team has bought in, and this is Southern Labs state championship to lose. And it's going to be fun, man. Again, like we talk about a lot of times with the Caroline Bradleys and Michaela Williams, Asia Patan's another one, man. She reminds me of Dakota Howard. Coach Kendra, you can talk about her a little bit, man. But when you get the opportunity to see these kids that play so effing hard night in, night out, every single day, it impacts everyone around them, man. I got goosebumps talking about that right now. It impacts the whole entire freaking team, man. And Dakota Howard is doing that right now at the collegiate level, where she's making her case to be the freaking, not only the freshman of the year in Southland, but the Southland Player of the Year. And Asia Patan's another one, man, that reminds me of that. And I loved every second of watching Dakota Howard. I loved every second of watching Asia Patan because of the way that they play, man. Coach Kendra, you want to talk about that a little bit? Add a little on that one, just as a fan as well as a coach?
Yeah, I talk to Dakota, very frequently, man, and we stay in touch. And I watched her the other night when they came up to Natchitoches. I went down and watched them play Lamar in early January because my schedule's busy. But we keep in touch every year. Sometimes I get brain farts and forget some stuff that I run. I call her, and she'll say, "Coach, it's supposed to go like this." But we talk 4 games after games, and she's having fun. She's having fun. If you know the kid that Dakota is, she just want to ball. She want to play, and she's gonna give it her all. And she's so contagious. Like you said, it's so contagious that if you play with her and how hard she goes, you got no choice but to rise your game. And she's affecting McNeese real well, and the run that they're on, and she has every bit to do with it. Like you said, I was telling her the other day, kid, we might win Conference Player of the Year. She said, "I'm going for it. I'm just having fun, Coach." That's what she said.
And now we're gonna look up about 4 months from now, and those guys will be teammates. Hopefully, Howard's playing. There'll probably be a lot of phone calls, a lot of people in her inbox. But those guys will be teammates, man. Her and Patan, that'd be fun to watch, man. That makes these programs done a good job of turning those things around and recruiting the state.
Yeah, but Howard's happy. Howard's happy with the coaching staff. She's happy. Her mom gets to come to every game. She's happy. She said, "Coach, I just want to play ball. I'm not worried about that. I'm here to play ball. The coaching staff takes care of me. I'm happy at McNeese." And that's what she's told me. And she's just playing ball, man, having fun. Anybody that knows Dakota from Bossier City and from when she was growing up. She's a kid at heart. She just want to play ball, and she's a very loyal kid that she's real happy with what Coach and them are doing for her.
Love it, man. Coach Tracy, you want to leave us with anything, man? Again, appreciate you guys for joining us, man. I know we scouting a game tomorrow, and as well as coaching a game tomorrow, man. So good luck to both of you guys as well. Coach Tracy, man, appreciate your time. You got anything you want to leave us with?
No, it just, kind of like what y'all were talking about. You talk about certain players. It's every now and then you're blessed as a coach to have a kid that not only can control the game, but can make everybody around them better. When you have those types of kids, you're going to be successful. And you're talking about some of these kids and I'm familiar with some of them. That's what they bring to the table. They bring everything. They give 110%, but at the same time, they make everybody better. And it's a joy to have those types of kids. So, but I appreciate you inviting me. I enjoyed it. I got a lot of insight on some of these teams that I didn't know about, and now it kind of gets me intrigued on not just Class B and C and everything else, but I'm anxious to watch the bigger schools play.
For sure. And guys, we'll definitely be back. Before the next round of playoffs, so we'll be back at some point this weekend, hopefully, to kind of talk about the second round playoffs. This stuff happens fast, man. As a parent, Mr. Potsdam was talking about it as well, man. Like those 4 or 5 years go by crazy fast, man. Enjoy the ride. Be everything you can to support the team, the players, the coaches, practices, man. Have everybody locked in. Make sure the girls getting sleep, the rest, everything makes a difference, man. Just do everything you can. Don't leave any stone unturned. Coaches, man, get some rest. I know y'all gonna be watching a ton of film, but man, like I'm telling you, like we're looking at 10, 12 days from now, we'll be in Hammond, and it goes by quick. I hope everyone enjoys these podcasts, these talks. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in and commenting. I love how many comments we get, the feedback, and it helps us, man. It helps everybody continue to get the conversation started. So for everybody that joined us, man, we really appreciate all y'all. We appreciate all the conversations. Guys, y'all want to do it again sometime this weekend, man? Good luck to y'all in the first round, but hopefully we can get you guys back on, man. We can talk second round playoffs.
Just let me know. I appreciate it.
All right, then, brother.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate y'all. Good luck. Keep us posted on any scores. We'll be posting some scores ourselves. We'll throw a text thread out there, and we will get these things going, man. Good luck to everyone.